Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Monday, July 7th, 2014. I want to refer back to Thursday because Infowars was just excellent on Thursday. And if you didn't catch Infowars on Thursday, you might want to go back and listen to the entire thing. Lord Christopher Monckton was on, and also another guest was Dr. Hamamoto from Davis College, UC Davis in California. They were both just completely excellent, remarkable interviews, and there was a lot of great information that came out. And this is one of the clips from Lord Monckton's interview, Secret Global Governance Treaty Set for Paris. And just, again, packed with very interesting information. And one of the clips that you might find interesting from Dr. Hamamoto was this bombshell Janet Napolitano to be governor of FEMA. Dr. Hamamoto stated that the reason she took a position in a California university was because she is hoping/planning to become a FEMA governor of a region when martial law is imposed. Again, these interviews, it's not, just emotional people shooting from the hip. It's people in these positions who really know the facts and really have the goods. And the interviews, the entire show was just exceptional, and again, well worth listening to, watching if you missed it. Over the weekend, we went to see the film America by Dinesh D'Souza. It doesn't tell the entire story of all the conspiratorial information about what's going on, but it really paints a very clear picture of America, and really what it boils down to is that capitalism is a much better system, facilitates human liberty and human creativity, and raises a lifestyle more than collectivism. It's really a look at capitalism versus collectivism, but parts of it are dramatized, and it's very well reasoned, and there's a lot of truth in this film. It would be easy to call this propaganda, but a lot of it, most of it, all of it is fact-based and very encouraging. This is a video that I came across on Facebook over the weekend, How to Fight the System. And in the notes I found this website, which I had not been aware of before, helpfreetheearth.com. I'm not certain that I would be in agreement with all the films here, but it's an interesting website, and I find it encouraging that there are so many people out there who are putting together websites and making films. This is a video I saw on Facebook also. I think Cynthia McKinney posted this one. This is really pretty significant. Exposing Obama regime's support to Al-Qaeda. And the blurb here: what will you do when you discover you've been fooled by the ones you chose to lead you? And not only that, they used your money, your children, your future, and your reputation to fool you. And this is a relatively new video posted on July 2nd. So more great information here. It's becoming easier and easier to find really solid information that completely exposes what's happening in the world. Of course, there's also still a lot of deception, and this is from henrymacau.com. A few different people made me aware of this because I was following, for a while, I was following Fritz Springmeier's posts with interest when he was posting about William Van Duyn. I came to feel very uncomfortable with the whole premise that the Illuminati was becoming good guys, not so much based on whether Fritz's information was true or some of the things addressed here, but just primarily because William Van Duyn insisted that it was a positive thing to reduce world population through eugenics, and as Fritz wrote, calling the herd. That means, killing the weak, basically. And the weak, many of the weak are weak because they've been fed bad food. And sure, we're all responsible for the choices that we make in life, but when there are so many layers of deception, it's really difficult for a lot of people to be able to sift through and determine how they have been turned into cattle so that they can rise up and no longer be cattle, but at least be gazelles. Stefan Molyneux classifies people into 3 groups. They are sheep, gazelles, and wolves. And of course, we prefer to not be wolves. We can at least be gazelles and escape the traps, run away from the wolves. But as this blog states, what's behind the Van Duyn hoax, and this really boils down to 3 possibilities. And of course, this article gives a lot of information that that Macau feels proves that this is false, at least to some degree. So what are the possibilities? Who's lying and why? The first alternative is that the Illuminati themselves are behind the hoax, in a public relations campaign to make them look nice and promote Gnosticism, preparing the world for their world leader and his religion, while hiding their true intentions and atrocities. This also creates confusion and taints the credibility of conspiracy researchers. The fact that they use VIP profiles without problems reinforces this idea. Honestly, this is what I believe is happening. I believe that it is the first suggestion here. The other 2, the second, a deranged person, and the third, I would hate the last alternative to be true, but we have to consider that Springmeier himself may be using the hoax to get back on the conspiracy circles. I personally do not believe that at all. I'm not sure why Fritz has done some of the things he's done in accepting what the alleged William Van Duyn is putting forth as truth. But I do believe that he has that Fritz has good intentions, and as I stated, I believe it's the first suggestion here that the Illuminati themselves have been releasing this information. It does create confusion. It does taint the credibility of conspiracy researchers. And the fact is, people, lying liars lie. These guys have been deceivers for a long time. They've manipulated the people of the world through deception. And why would it be any different now? I believe that they are still deceiving, and they've just taken some new tacks. They've realized that there's a lot of information out about them, and people are closing in on the truth about them, so they wanted to put out some of their own press releases in order to confuse and muddy the waters. That shouldn't be a surprise to any of us. That's how they've operated for a long time, manipulating the press. The difference now is that they are making a huge effort to manipulate the alternative press. Here from the Telegraph is an article, more than 10 politicians on list held by police investigating Westminster pedophile ring. This thing is really blowing up. And it's been well known by a lot of people for a long time. And ever since the information about Jimmy Savile has been coming out, David Icke has been writing and talking about this for a long time, that there is just tremendous corruption in among British politicians. You know, you even have a show like Sherlock that implies that. The episode about the woman who is a dominatrix and is very closely involved with the royal family. According to some of these stories involving pedophilia, that's really very tame. And Benjamin Fulford wrote a little bit about the corruption in Great Britain in his blog this week. He wrote about a lot of things. One of the things he wrote about is the BRICS nations and I've mentioned before that they are putting together their own bank. That is probably happening this month. And there are just a lot of great things that, tremendous information in this blog. If you've kind of become disillusioned with Fulford lately, I think you'll really enjoy this because he really had a lot of good information here. And he backs most of it up with links to articles. I have most of his blog blocked out because there wasn't a free part this week. The entire thing was accessible only to people who have a subscription. But I want to actually focus on the final paragraph because he wrote a little bit about the U.S., but not a lot. However, the final paragraph reads, "Almost every government on earth is now insisting that the Pentagon must move in on Washington, D.C. and start making arrests. It is either that or sit back and witness an economic implosion and chaos in the U.S." And sure, that is Fulford's point of view. I guess about 80 to 85% I believe that paragraph is true. And other governments on the earth are finding all kinds of creative ways to stop using the dollar. Fulford mentioned that ISIS might now have shifted the control of the petrodollar so that the control of the petrodollar has fallen into a new set of hands, as he wrote. I'm not certain of that, but I do fully believe that the world is tired of being manipulated by the people who manipulate Americans through Washington, and the rest of the world is able to break free by ceasing to use the dollar. And I do believe that if America doesn't very soon do something about the government that is now operating in Washington, D.C., we will suffer economically, probably pretty deep and desperately when the dollar collapses. It seems pretty inevitable. For the good news of the day, I have a Zero Hedge article. Productivity can return if the central banks would give it a chance. This article is just about how our economy can be restored under the right circumstances. That it's not the problem isn't the people or the land or the country. The problem is the management, and that can be changed. So, more good news. Zero Hedge referred to this video, although this has to do with the earth, not the economy. It's really kind of the same principle, and this video in itself is very encouraging. Greengold.com documentary by John D. Liu. It's possible to rehabilitate large-scale damaged ecosystems. Environmental filmmaker John D. Liu documents large-scale ecosystem restoration projects in China, Africa, South America, and the Middle East, highlighting the enormous benefits for people and planet of undertaking these efforts globally. So there really is hope for the future. Restoration can come economically, restoration can come for the beleaguered earth with pollution and radiation and other issues. We can have a bright future under the right management. So we will see where that all goes, and certainly hope for new management in America, new management style certainly, that leads to restoration, not exploitation and destruction. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, insist on liberty, and find ways to bring restoration.